So I noticed that the title, as printed in the bulletin, is Mary the Refugee. But that's only part of the story. So I hope that you will give me the space to play with the sacred mystery of this time of year and the embodiment of the sacred feminine. So this morning we hold in our hearts both the awe we experience as we live our lives and the many manifestations of love that we give and receive. There are a great many manifestations of love that just left the room. Albert Einstein framed his understanding of awe, creativity, and the birth of religion within our experience of mystery, the foundation of all existence and reality. He wrote, "The most beautiful thing we can experience is the mysterious. It is the source of all true art and science. The one to whom this emotion is a stranger, who can no longer pause to wonder and stand wrapped in awe, is as good as dead. Eyes are closed." This insight into the mystery of life, coupled, though it be, with fear, has also given rise to religion. To know that what is impenetrable to us really exists, manifesting itself as the highest wisdom and the most radiant beauty, which our dull faculties can comprehend only in their most primitive forms. This knowledge, this feeling, is at the center of true religiousness. In this sense, and in this sense only, I belong to the ranks of devoutly religious men. It is enough for me to contemplate the mystery of conscious life perpetuating itself through all eternity, to reflect upon the marvelous structure of the universe, which we can dimly perceive, and to try humbly to comprehend even an infinitesimal part of the intelligence manifested in nature. And we know that during this time of year, people and cultures and faith traditions experience wonder and awe as we see nature's shifting seasons. For many, these changes speak to the mystery of the ever unfolding life and wonder all around us. So it's understandable that this is the season in which the church chose to place the date to celebrate the birth of Jesus, the babe believed to be the light of the world. This season, when earth-centered traditions celebrate the return of the light after the winter solstice, we all need to experience light. When we consider the birth and life of the prophet Jesus, it's important for us to untangle the message and worldview of Jesus from the orthodox teachings that detract from Jesus' understanding of the world, which was one of that we are all radically connected to the oneness, the source of all things. Schweitzer's words reflected this understanding that the universe is a unity, is a wholeness. We are reflections of that unity, created from the star stuff from which the cosmos was made. Our human attempts to divide people into nations, cultures, male and female, are only superficial divisions that detract from the creative force that brought creation into being. During this season of preparation and expectation in the Christian tradition, Mary does represent the sacred, God, the great mystery, as accessible. You know, for so many people if you visit Christian congregations in different countries or cultures, Mary is the being in the Christian story who is accessible. Mary, for many, is the embodiment of compassion and wisdom. And as I was thinking about this, the Beatles song came to mind this week. And I think they sang truth about the hope and power many people continue to feel when they honor the essence of who Mary, the mother of Jesus, was, the embodiment of wisdom and love. So remember the lyrics? When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me speaking words of wisdom. Let it be. And in my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom. Let it be. And when the broken-hearted people living in the world agree there will be an answer, let it be. For though they may be parted, there is still a chance that they will see there will be an answer. Mary represents the maternal power of the universe. She represents peace and protection. She's not a passive presence, sweet and silent, as the church would like for her to be. In this day, when the voice of women is coming to the fore, each of us, male and female, are called to discover within ourselves the wisdom to reclaim our own power. Nancy Rockwell, in an article entitled "No More Lying About Mary," reminds us that hiding within the wonder of Christmas are 1,000 years of doctrinal female subjugation, doctrines that, like tinsel, are dripped all over the season of Christmas. In the midst of the celebration, these malicious ideas keep women from feeling empowered, invited to be strong, and urged to imagine new ways of living. As Mary of Nazareth did, who mothered Jesus, who many believe is the redemption of the human world, Luke, we find, is the only gospel that even mentions Mary's story. In his account, there's nothing submissive or immature about her. According to Luke, the angel approached her with great honor. "Hail, Mary, full of grace." Luke speaks praise of this young woman who, beneath the purified version of the story, breaks all the norms of society. She's unmarried. She doesn't need permission from the religious establishment. She charts her own rules. She goes alone to visit her cousin Mary, radical in her day or maybe even in this day. She speaks her truth. And I'd like for us to turn to number 619 in our hymnal and hear her words as presented in Christian scripture. Let's read this together. I'll do the first part, y'all do the end. My soul magnifies God, we are enlarged. And my spirit breaks out, rejoicing in the face of freedom. That God, something new within, not yet mine, has glanced at this daughter of hope. And behold, henceforth, time will know and regard me. For that great mystery is a beam drawn through this lens. Comforting me and all people, the shadows now dispersed. There is strength here like the sinew of a mother's arm. It shatters the real pride of wealth. It levels the clay foot thrones of tyrants. It holds the crown of sorrow. Hunger, both body and soul, will be filled. Riches will no more be rewarded. The Holy One cleaves to those who keep faith. It will endure in those who serve mercy. And the promise made to legend ancestors will be kept. These are not the words of a passive woman. This is a woman who is in her own power. Even though she ends up homeless, gives birth in a barn or cave as a refugee, fleeing to safety with Joseph and her infant, she is powerful. And Luke shows us this powerful figure who embodies the ancient wisdom of Hukmah, which is Hebrew. Hukmah was there at the beginning, at the creation of the cosmos. Hukmah is another word for holy wisdom. It is not just in the Christian scriptures that Mary is seen as a powerful woman, self-possessed and faithful to the wisdom in her own heart. In the Quran, we find Mary shunned and who is forced to give birth in the desert. So remember, the other birth story of Jesus is in the Quran. Alone, she gives birth under a date palm. In this mystical telling of the birth of Jesus, when the babe is born, the place where his feet touch the earth, a spring of clear water bursts up from the desert floor to quench Mary's thirst after giving birth. And the date palm under which she rested dropped dates so that she would be nourished. Mary is a person, I would say, not to be messed with lightly. And Mary is revered in Islam as well as Christianity. As I sat with Mary the last week or two, I remembered that we haven't been taught to think about the power and the deeper story of this woman. And I started realizing, I don't know why I didn't get it decades ago, that Mary's strength and wisdom was the role model that Jesus had as he grew up. Later, Jesus was to become a radical prophet who took women as students and disciples, who made Mary Magdalene, a woman demeaned by the church, made her the apostle to the apostles. Jesus, in his native Aramaic, understood the power of that balance of the sacred masculine and the sacred feminine that has been present since the beginning of the world. Jesus spoke that truth when he began his prayer that we call the Lord's Prayer. He began it with the word Abun, or Abun de Bashmaya, which instead of our Father who art in heaven, from the Aramaic means, O birther, father, mother of the cosmos, you create all that moves in light. Here is the connection throughout the millennia to that sacred feminine of which his mother was a representative. Mary continues to be a primal example of the feminine manifestation of God, however you wish to name that which is greater than we are. For she embodies wisdom, courage, love, and compassion. And she models for us that we too are created in light. And if we choose, we can embody the light of creation when we manifest wisdom, courage, compassion, and love. May we do so as we live in the midst of this glorious, awesome, mysterious, painful world of ours.